Gretchen, tell us a little bit from your perspective about what getting noticed is and how you like to help clients do that.
Well, getting noticed for a lot of people, they think, oh, I'm just gonna put my website up with a pretty face on it. It looks professional, it looks pretty. That's good enough. That's gonna get me noticed. And that's not exactly how it works. It's not a if you build it, they will come kind of scenario. You have to promote yourself, you have to get out there and you have to get noticed. So getting the design, getting the website out there, that's just one piece of it. But another thing about getting noticed is, first of all, are you getting noticed by the right people?
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then you're doing all this work for nothing. And I would say then the other thing about getting noticed is just making sure that your brand is cohesive across all of your channels,
Yeah.
because all the places that people are going to find you, because you're going to have to put yourself out there. Again, it's not a build it and they will come. You got to put yourself out there. So when you put yourself out there on the social media channels, you got to make sure that your brand matches everywhere, because the rule of thumb is they got to see you like 7 times before they kind of recognize you. But if they're seeing 7 different versions of you, they're not going to recognize you.
Yeah, and some people might think that that's only important when you're just starting out, and that, oh, the longer that I have my brand, the easier it's going to be for people to recognize me. There's some truth to that, but this is also a trap that we see a lot of brands fall into when they've grown, when they've been around 8, 10, 15 plus years. It's really easy to only think about what are the platforms that I'm on most often. So let's say the way that you find your clients, you're an established thought leader, your brand has been around for a while. So you're spending time speaking from stages, or you are on television, or you're spending a lot of time on social media or with affiliate partners promoting the programs that you have. What happens is if you aren't thinking about where you're sending them in the long run, you're going to lose them. I had this experience back in 2017 where we were at an industry event together.
Mhm.
We were going to a mastermind event. There was a speaker that I knew was going to be there. I was so excited to see him.
She
Like
was.
I already like I sat down before he even came on stage and like had the credit card out. Like it was that kind of situation. And I was so excited to see him speak and teach on his expertise. The speech was fantastic. What he was promoting was fantastic. I was ready to take action. And then by the time I followed his little QR code and went to his website, it looked awful. Like it didn't have any of the quality of how he carried himself, how he was speaking from stage, how he was promoting the product and the training that he had. And so I didn't take action. No, this is someone I had followed for a
Mhm.
while. This is someone that I was ready to move forward with, but I had this massive loss of trust because what he was saying from stage and what he was explaining as ways that he could serve his people sounded so fantastic. But then when I actually got to the landing page and to the website, it was incongruent. So that is one of the ways that I think established thought leaders really need to take that time to step back. And again, as we mentioned in our last video, get clear on where they are today, but also make sure that where you're directing people is something you want to get noticed for. Like, is it congruent? Is it going to help people really carry on that know, like, trust factor? And if your brand isn't doing that in all of the different channels, then that's something that you really need to go back and consider. Because ultimately, getting noticed is, yes, it's about attracting eyes to you, but it's also about making that audience feel seen. Like they need to land there. It needs to feel completely congruent. They need to see themselves. They need to see a hero story for themselves of how they get to step up and be the hero because of how you're guiding them. And if that's not happening, I'm telling you, you are leaving money on the
Mhm.
table every time.